Good morning. I'm Jason Clark, principal of the NSCC Kingstec Campus. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Mi'kmaq Nation. Our relationship is based on a series of peace and friendship treaties between the Mi'kmaq Nation and the Crown, dating back to 1725. In Nova Scotia, we recognize that we are all treaty people. I want to offer a warm welcome to graduates, family, friends, and special guests joining us here today, along with all those tuning in through our live stream from around the world. Thank you for being part of this very special day to celebrate the class of 2019. Thank you to our piper, Ed Coleman, for the inspirational processional music. I will now introduce the stage guests. I'd please ask if you would hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Beginning on my right, Keith Irving, member of the Legislative Assembly, King South. John Lohr, member of the Legislative Assembly, Kings North. Don Bureau, NSCC President. Jeff Ransom, Board of Governors Representative. Catherine McLean, Vice President, Campuses and Communities. Rosalind Penfoud, Vice President, Organizational Development. Margaret Champion, Dean, School of Health and Human Services. Christine Arsenal, Director, Enrollment and Registrar. Octavia McClellan, Assistant Registrar. John Smith, Manager, Student Services. I'd also like to acknowledge in attendance one of our municipal partners and friend to Kingstec from the town of Kentville, Mayor Sandra Snow. Thank you for attending. Each year our campus welcomes new faces, all eager, some anxious, and filled with an infectious enthusiasm. By the time you see those same faces cross the stage of convocation, you see the same enthusiasm, but the anxiousness is gone, and in its place, a newfound confidence. That makes this day extremely rewarding for me and our college community here today. From our amazing and dedicated staff at our campus to campuses and colleagues province-wide, each of you had a role to play in supporting our journey to graduation, and to them I say thank you. And I'd like to take this opportunity to ask our campus staff to please stand to be acknowledged. Graduates, ultimately it is thanks to the inner strength each of you has found within yourselves to balance competing priorities, whether they are caring for a family member, holding down a job, lengthy travel time, or health challenges, and still managing to meet deadlines, stay on top of your work, and make it through late night studying or tests while handling all the stresses involved. And now you can say, I did it. Today we are welcoming students who are graduating from programs studied online. I want to extend a warm welcome to my colleague, Tricia Donovan, our eCampus principal, who is in attendance today. At this time of year, we say goodbye to retiring staff who are members of our campus family. I'd like to recognize all of our retiring staff and ask those who are present to please stand when I call their name. Diane Burns, Adult Learning Program faculty, 27 years. Mike Fifield, Carpentry faculty, 14 years. Anne Murray, Disability Supports and Services faculty, 17 years. Ludmila Shalina, Administrative Assistant, Student Services, 14 years. John Smith, Manager, Student Services, 10 years. Brenda Walls-Allen, Social Services and Nonprofit Leadership faculty, 15 years. Judy Williams, Learning Strategist, Student Services, 12 years. And Debbie Swicker, Training Associate, 27 years. I'd like to personally congratulate you on your retirement, to thank you for putting your heart and soul into supporting our students, and for imprinting a legacy of positivity and collegiality on our campus culture. As our president, Don Bureau, has often said, we take the community and community college very seriously. This is a special community, and while we have our share of challenges along the way, by working as a supportive family, it makes the successes we see at the end of each academic year that much more special. So congratulations to the class of 2019. You've accomplished so much, and you should be so proud. And please know that all of your college family here today on the stage and in the audience are thrilled to see you shine. I now invite Keith Irving, MLA for King South, to bring greetings.
Thank you very much, Jason, and it's a pleasure to join you here today for this very special day for these remarkable graduates in front of me. I see a few smiles. You should be very proud and very happy for this day. And I want to bring congratulations as well from Premier Stephen McNeil. He couldn't be here today, but as a person who understands the value of NSCC, he really wanted me to bring his wishes here today. But before talking about today, let's take a little moment of thinking of what's going to happen tomorrow for you graduates. And some of you will be going on to further education. Some of you will probably take a well-deserved break. But most of you will be heading into the workforce. And it actually wasn't that long ago that graduates of our post-secondary education had a feeling that they might have to leave the province to find work. But that's changed. The unemployment rate in Nova Scotia is the lowest it's ever been. 5 years ago, in fact, in the Annapolis Valley, it was 9.1%, and we're now down around 7.1, 7.2%. And that, when I talk to employers and government organizations and NGOs, there's now a labor force squeeze that employers are having challenges finding good workers. In fact, we've got more youth arriving to Nova Scotia than departing. And a particular stat which is relevant to you as you enter the workforce, and particularly in this sector in terms of nursing and social services, is every month 1,000 Nova Scotians turn 65. That not only is opening up job opportunities for our young people, it's also putting more and more demands on health and social services, and so we need you all to take care of us as we hit that magic age of 65. So it's a great time for you to be entering the workforce in Nova Scotia. CCAs as well with the new pre-primary program, there's lots of opportunity. We're desperate to find CCAs as we expand early childhood education in the province. These are reasons to be very, very optimistic for you entering into the job market. But returning to today, this is a time to celebrate, to share a moment with your classmates, your teachers, your family, and to thank all those that have supported you. It's also a time to reflect on your hard work, the dedication to your studies, and to graduate today is a significant accomplishment that you should be very, very proud. And judging by the faces of all those friends and family behind you, they are very, very proud of you. So I encourage you to take your new skills and knowledge learned here at NSCC, take your energy, and layer that with optimism as you move into your next chapter of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Keith. I now invite John Lohr, MLA for Kings North, to please give some remarks.
Thank you, President Jason. It's a pleasure to be here today and to congratulate the graduates. The fields that you're graduating in are so needed in our community, and I know that there will be a bright future for many of you. I was thinking as I was driving here this morning that the best journeys often start in the rain, and That's what I found is when our children, we were going on vacation, the best vacation started with the first day of rain. It's raining today. But in another sense, all of the work and the hard work that you've put in, you will start to reap some of the benefit from that. And it's a pleasure to commend you for your efforts and your hard work, and congratulate you on your graduation. There's always the temptation to offer a piece of advice. I will offer two pieces of advice for you. I have two sort of theories of life. One is the investment theory of life, and the other is the project theory of life. In the investment theory of life is that invest in everything you can. And by that, I don't mean stocks and bonds. I mean in family, invest in your community, invest in your career, in yourself. So join a service club, join a church, join in getting involved in everything that you can. And it's so rewarding to do that. And I've tried to live my life that way, and I see the benefits of it now. So whatever you have the opportunity to do for your community and for your family, do it. The second theory of life is the project theory of life, and that is always have a little side project. And you never know when that side project might become the main thing. So think about what you could add in as a little side project. And after I finished farming, I decided to become a hobby beekeeper. So I'm a hobby beekeeper too, and a politician. So that's my little side project, keeping bees. But do something that is just an interesting side project in your life. You won't realize the impact it has on your family and on your life. And so think about that. What is my little side project? So anyway, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you to both Keith and John for words of wisdom and your advice. It is now my pleasure to welcome our President, Don Bureau, to the podium to address our graduates. Mr. President.
Thank you, Jason, and good morning, everyone. I have to tell you, it's such an honor for me to be on this stage this morning, to be here to celebrate the success of our graduates with family and friends and loved ones, and it's particularly special for me. I used to be the principal at this campus, so in many ways it's like coming home. I didn't do a very good job at being principal, so it made me president. So it's always such a welcoming environment here at Kingstec. So Jason, to you and your staff, great work. Now, I mentioned it's an honor to be on this stage. In fact, as president, I get to do a lot of cool things throughout the year, but here this morning, addressing you, the graduating class of 2019, is simply the highlight of my year. A couple of weeks ago, when I was preparing my address, my speech for this morning, I was really wanting to ensure that I prepared a speech that was compelling and engaging. So I sought the advice of my youngest son, Matthew, who's 22 years old, and he graduated from this very campus a couple of years ago. So based on that experience, I said, Matthew, what advice would you have for me as I prepare my address to the class of 2019? And he said, Dad, my advice would be this. He said, you should try to be interesting. Okay, got that. Okay, great. And he said, you should try to be inspiring. Okay. But he said, the last thing they want to hear is you going on and on and on. So he said, try to be quick. So I said, Matthew, I don't know if I can be interesting, inspiring, and quick. And he said, well, just be quick then. So I'm going to take his advice, and I'm going to share with you a very quick story. It's a story that many of my colleagues have heard me share before. It's one of my favorite stories because I think it pertains to what's happening in the world today. It's called the Patch Story. And it speaks about the importance of taking action to have a positive impact on others. I first heard this story a couple of years ago when I had the privilege of having lunch with one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. That person, her name is Valerie Jarrett. And perhaps, like me, some of you have not heard of Valerie Jarrett before. I hadn't prior to having lunch with her. But Valerie Jarrett was the senior advisor to former U.S. President Barack Obama. In fact, Valerie Jarrett's often was referred to as Obama's shadow, because for the 8 years in which he was in office, she was with him wherever he went. And Valerie was in Halifax sharing with a small group of us about what it was like and some of the lessons that she learned by being the senior advisor to the president for those 8 years. She told us that early in her career, she was working as a lawyer for the city of Chicago, and one day she was interviewing for a vacant position in her department. And a candidate came into the interview room, and that candidate's name was Michelle. And after about 5 minutes, Valerie offered Michelle the job on the spot because Michelle was just so smart. Of course, that Michelle was a Michelle Obama. And after a couple of years, Valerie and Michelle and Barack Obama became very close friends. And Valerie told us that in 2008, when Barack Obama was running for president, he had just finished giving a speech at a large hotel in Chicago. After the speech was over, him and his security entourage got onto an elevator. The elevator doors closed, and on the elevator there was an older gentleman. His name was Earl Smith, and Earl was the elevator operator. And during that short elevator ride, Earl presented the candidate, Barack Obama, with a small little cloth military patch. Earl explained that that patch had kept him safe during the Vietnam War. It kept him safe ever since, and he wanted the candidate to have it to keep him safe during his very important work. Well, Barack Obama said, look, I can't possibly accept your military patch. Earl insisted, and eventually the president-to-be took the patch. That was 2008. Let's fast forward time now to 2012. Barack Obama has just won his second presidential election. He and Valerie are sitting in the Oval Office talking about the inauguration ceremony. And the president says, Valerie, we should go find that man who gave me that military patch 4 years ago and invite him to the ceremony. And Valerie said, Mr. President, that would be impossible. We have no idea who that man was, no idea where he lives. We'd never be able to locate him. The president, with a little smile on his face, he said, Valerie, we have the FBI at our disposal. Go find that man. Well, she stood up with that new task in hand, and as she was exiting the Oval Office, she stopped and she turned around and she said, Mr. President, by the way, what did you ever do with that little military patch that man gave you 4 years ago? And much to her surprise, the president stood up, he reached into his pocket, and he pulled out the patch. But also in his hand, he had a little marble, he had a lucky poker chip, he had rosary beads. These were items that people had given him over the years that had a significant positive impact on him during his time in public office. In fact, that man, during the 8 years in which he was president, would get dressed every morning and grab that handful of items off his dresser and put them into his pocket as his reminder as to why he was doing the work he was doing. In his mind, he was president to serve and to always have a positive impact on others. But here's the thing. You need not be the most powerful person in the world to have a positive impact on others. Earl Smith had no idea that day when he presented Barack Obama with that little military cloth patch that would have such a positive impact on the president-to-be. I'm sure Earl knew that during the campaign, candidate Obama would have thousands and thousands of interactions with people, but still, Earl Smith acted. And you know, we need not look very far or for very long to see similar actions having a positive impact on others occurring here at the Nova Scotia Community College. As I traveled around the province during the academic year, I hear hundreds of stories of students helping other students and having a positive impact on their peers as they face struggles during their programs. And I got to tell you, I hear hundreds and hundreds of stories of our amazing faculty and staff who dedicate countless hours to mentoring and supporting our students and having a positive impact on them as they're working towards completion of their programs. But graduates, there's one example in particular that I want to kind of unpack here for a moment about you as students having a significant impact on others. You see, at the core of NSCC, we strive to be an accessible post-secondary institution as a way to help students overcome all forms of adversity. And to that end, a couple of years ago, we launched something called Make Way. And Make Way was the college's first major fundraising campaign where we set a very ambitious goal, a goal to raise $25 million to provide scholarships and bursaries and learning tools for our students to be successful. And a couple of months ago, we celebrated the completion of Make Way, and we celebrated raising, in fact, over $33 million to help our students. And a key group of contributors to that success has been you, our graduates. Because you see, your student associations have committed $500,000 to that campaign over the next 5 years. And I think that deserves a big round of applause. And thank you very, very much. Graduates, I hope you know and I hope you realize that your very significant contribution will have a positive impact on future generations of students for years to come. As I think about having a positive impact on others, graduates, whether they are family, friends, again, outstanding faculty and staff here at Kingstec, there are people joining us this morning who have had a positive impact on you during your studies. So unbeknownst to our graduating class, you actually have one final assignment to complete prior to officially ending your program, and that one last assignment is this. Would you think for a minute of that person or persons who are in the audience today who's had a positive impact during your time here at Kingstec? And I've asked you to think of that person or persons because we have a tradition at NSCC, a tradition where I ask the graduating class to please stand up and give a wave of gratitude to somebody in the audience as a way to say thank you. Thank you for the impact that they've had on you. So would you please now stand as you're able and give a wave of thank you to someone in the group. I'd give you an A+ on your final assignment. Congratulations, you've officially completed your program. Well done. And before I conclude, there's one other important group of individuals joining us in the audience this morning that I want to recognize. For decades, our alumni have been driven by a passion to find a way to have positive impacts in their communities and have made better lives more accessible to those around them. So I want to acknowledge our alumni who are joining us this morning. If you are a past graduate of NSCC or any of our predecessor institutions or schools, or are a graduate of CCEDP, would you stand now to be recognized? So in conclusion, graduates, I want to share with you one other comment that Valerie shared with us during that amazing lunch that I had the privilege of being part of. She was asked during the lunch, someone asked her, Valerie, when you were working with President Obama for those 8 years, did the 8 years go by fast or did the 8 years go by slow? She thought for a moment. She said, you know what? She said, the 8 years went by just like that. But she said, some days they lasted forever. And I think that's so true for life in general. So graduates, after walking across this stage this morning, our ask is that you please do not wait until tomorrow. Start today and continue to have a positive impact on those around you by always paying forward the many gifts and abilities that you have. Again, congratulations. We are so, so proud of you, and thank you. Thank you for allowing NSCC to be part of your learning journey. Thank you very much.
My name is John Smith, Manager of Student Services here at Kingstec, and I am presenting candidates today on behalf of Julia Harrison, the Academic Chair for the School of Health and Human Services. Mr. President, I present to you the following candidates who have completed all the requirements for the credentials in the School of Health and Human Services for the Certificate in Continuing Care. Jackie Lou Arboleda. Josie Banks. Riza Jean Benitez. Invited guests, it is the tradition at the Nova Scotia Community College that when a member of the staff has a family member graduating, we offer him or her the opportunity to participate in the ceremony and present the credential. Sean Connors joins us now to present his cousin, Rachel Benjamin, the Certificate in Continuing Care. Patrick Bezanson. Caleb Brown. Nicole Carter. Wendy Dory. Lisa Hall. Brandy Johnson. Madison Johnstone. Ryan LeBlanc. Hannah McDonald. Maggie McKenzie. Brooklyn Malcolm. Katie Michelin. Amanda Richard. Marissa Samara. Kara Sanford. Star Sterrett. Courtney Vino. Brittany Ward. Emily Ward. Dorothy Wiesner. Mr. President, the graduates in continuing care. For the information of our audience, those students who attained honors standing have the designation noted in their program. Congratulations for your outstanding academic performance. Students whose names appear in the program but who are unable to be with us today are automatically admitted to their respective certificates or diploma. Mr. President, the candidates for the Diploma in Disability Supports and Services: Faith Cronin. Alicia Fisher. Nicole LeBlanc. Jesse Redden. Mr. President, the graduates in Disability Supports and Services. Mr. President, the candidates for the Diploma in Early Childhood Education. Jesse Blackman. Amber Brooks. Felicity Doherty. Laura Freeman. Wendy Jin. Tanya Messiah. Ziyi Meng. Joni Murray. Kyla Potter. Madison Rayfuse. Yujin Saw. Chelsea Taylor. Caitlin Wenzel. Bria White. Mr. President, the graduates in early childhood education. Mr. President, the candidates for the Diploma in Funeral and Allied Health Services. Melissa Darlene Atkinson. Josh Randall Crawford. Amalie Duguay. Cedric Gautreau. Kelsey McClanagan. Monica Willett. Evangelina Roberts. Arthur Smith. Jamie Utrontke. Jillian Vantall. Mr. President, the graduates in Funeral and Allied Health Services. Mr. President, the candidates for the Diploma in Social Services. Alexander Adams. Adriana Atwood. Kaylee Baker. Kelsey Dempsey. Got it. Brittany Frizzell. Serenity Harper. Danielle Hurtle. Jessica Kelcup. Dylan Landry. Destin McCullough. Kelsey McLean. Caitlin O'Brien. Danielle Pepperdine. Devin Pollock. Elisa Purvis. Elisa Rogers. Susan Shaw. Bailey Skinner. Brandon Stevens. Kendra Wagner. Kyle Wilson. Jade Windrow. Mr. President, the graduates in social services. Mr. President, the candidates for the Advanced Diploma in Addictions Community Outreach. Vicki Campbell. Renee Doucette. Cassidy Lewis. Chloe Martin. Kaylee McMullen. Cassandra McNamara. Megan Moore. Amy Pickard. Danya Thomas. Mr. President, the graduates in Addictions Community Outreach. Mr. President and invited guests, I present to you the 2019 graduating class of the Kingstec Campus, Nova Scotia Community College. Well now, just last evening in this very auditorium, we held our annual Student Awards ceremonies, where students from each of our programs were recognized for their outstanding achievement and contribution to their class and industry. I would like now to ask all those students who received an award last night to stand so that the people here may acknowledge your achievements. It's now my pleasure to announce several of our major award winners whose names appear in the convocation program. I would ask that each graduate come forward to the stage as his or her name is answered or announced. The Governor General's Academic Medal. I would now call upon John Lohr, please, to present the Governor General's Academic Medal. The Governor General's Academic Medal is awarded to a graduating student who has achieved the highest academic standing in a diploma program from our NSCC campus. This year's recipient of the Governor General's Academic Medal, a graduate in the Diploma in Funeral and Allied Health Services, is Kelsey McLenahan. The Board of Governors Award. We now call upon our Board Representative, Jeff Ransom, to the front of the stage to present the Board of Governors Award. This award is given to a graduating student of a college diploma program who has demonstrated outstanding academic achievement and contributed to campus and/or community activities. This year's recipient of the Board of Governors Award, a graduate of the Diploma in Social Services program, is Kelsey Dempsey. Mr. President and invited guests, I present to you the 2019 award winners for the Kingstec Campus, Nova Scotia Community College. I'll now ask Joni Murray, who is graduating from the Diploma in Early Childhood Education, to come forward and present the Valedictory Address for our convocation. Kingstec Campus's proximity to her hometown was important to Joni when choosing NSCC's Early Childhood Education program. And with financial support from her great aunt, Joni was able to invest her time in developing effective communication skills, mastering theory of child care and development, and learning the essential ways to nurture and care for children and their families. Joni's future plans will find her in the Northwest Territories, where she will put her new education and skills to work. Down the road, she's interested in continuing her education in a degree program and coming back to Nova Scotia to work in the pre-primary program. Her message to the class of 2019, don't be afraid to make mistakes and fail once in a while. We're all human, and it's how we deal with failure that really helps us to grow. Please help me to welcome Joni Murray to the podium.
Welcome, friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates to the 2019 Kingstec graduation. If you didn't hear, I'm Joni, and I'm graduating from Early Childhood Education. Thank you. It was 10 years ago, right around this time, I was given the honor of speaking at my first college graduation. And at the time, I thought it would be my one and only, but here I am. After that graduation, I had a vision of my future, And though my vision changed along the way, it allowed me to see a great deal of Canada. I went from studying at Holland College in PEI to working the front desk of a hotel in Banff, Alberta, back to PEI to work at a boutique hotel in Charlottetown. From there, it was out to Kelowna, BC, to work at a resort on the waterfront. After that experience, I went to Ontario and worked in sales and that at an in-home childcare center. And the best decision I've made so far, here to Kingstec in the Annapolis Valley. I wouldn't change any of those experiences or opportunities I've had over the last 10 years, as it's made me who I am and given me the confidence to approach my next opportunity. I'm sure all of you have visions for what your future may be, and if it changes along the way, know that that's okay, because the experiences we have had here at NSCC will help us no matter what our future brings. My 2 years at Kingstec have been memorable ones, from the awesome class discussions to the student association activities and getting to know so many new people. And I'm sure all of you have had similar experiences. I believe NSCC stands out from other colleges because it is great that we get the experience of job placement before we encounter employment. I know that personally, it was a great experience to take what I learned in the classroom and then apply it in a practical way, almost like working out the kinks. One of the many great things about Kingstec is the diversity of the students, some fresh out of high school, others changing career paths, but now we all have the skills and knowledge that are the beginning of a solid foundation. This foundation is what we can build on going forward in our lives. This is good for all of us. Or should I say great? And the reason I say that is because that's what we should strive to be, great at what we do, not just good. I would like to steal a quote from Ray Ivany, the former president of NSCC and Acadia University, who said, "Good is the enemy of great." Think about that for a moment. We all want to be told we are good at what we do, but is that what we want to settle for? No. We should strive to be great at what we do. All of us will be given a job description, and we will be expected to be good at that. However, the real leaders in the world go above and beyond what is expected. Take the initiative to be great. Do more than is expected. Have your own ideas. We have all been given the foundation here to be better than just okay at what we do. Take what we have learned along with our own creativity and initiative and really try to make a difference in our field. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and fail once in a while. We're all human, and it is how we deal with failure that really helps us grow. Try new things, learn from your mistakes, build resilience. In order to be truly great at what we do, we need to fall down and pick ourselves up. Oprah Winfrey said, "Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness." Oprah Winfrey was fired as a television reporter, then became one of the most successful women in television. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school basketball team the first time he tried out, but after picking himself up, seems to have done okay. So that is why I say good is the enemy of great. Don't just accept being good at what you do. Make NSCC proud of all of us and go out and be great, starting today. Before I leave, I will be remiss if I didn't thank some people who helped us along the way. The president of NSCC, all of the faculty here, and the staff at Kingstec, and of course, the fellow students for the support we show each other every day. And lastly, our families. Congratulations to all of us, the grads of 2019. Don't forget to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni, for those inspirational words. Certainly words for all of us to live by. Well, folks, we're on the home stretch. This brings us to the end of today's convocation proceedings. We invite everyone to join us for a reception in our library and atrium immediately following the ceremony. I would like to extend a tremendous thank you to everyone who contributed to making this convocation ceremony a truly magnificent event. Graduates, after receiving your credentials on stage, you are presented with an NSCC alumni pin. We hope that from this moment forward, you wear it proudly. Because today, when you shed your gown, your connection to NSCC does not end. Yesterday, you were students. Today, you are graduates. Forever, you are NSCC alumni. During the recessional, the stage guests, led by our president, followed by staff and then by graduates, will leave the auditorium. I please ask you to stand if you are able for our recessional and remain standing as the stage party and staff and graduates leave the auditorium. Thank you very much.